Kelsey Plum's dog class is one of those things that I was really looking forward to this year because of the whole scope of women's basketball right now. And you're not only getting the former scoring champion in women's basketball, but you're also getting some of the best players of the future. And last year this camp was cool, but this year this camp was amazing. So this is my mindset of going through an event like this and how you start, finish, go in between, and how you do everything really in a camp like this without getting too overwhelmed. So let's set up my rig. I got a few minutes and I gotta be down for the first shoot of the week. First thing, we're gonna need the monitor. I got the Atomos Shinobi. Got these small rig batteries. They're a little bit better than the ones that come with the actual monitor. Got this small rig top handle, and we got a microphone. First thing we're gonna do, we are going to screw in this small rig top handle. Make sure you have the piece go through two, I don't know if you can see that, but two of these holes or else it'll break. I already broke one and I had to pay way too much money for a replacement because what a dumb thing. Small rig doesn't actually sell replacements, or they're back ordered all the time. So you really have no choice than to buy like a whole kit. So I have a bunch of tools that I don't even need just so I can keep a little tool on my camera at all times. And then you're gonna plug the HDMI in. I mount it upside down strictly because I don't want the wire to be rubbing against my microphone, which we put the microphone extended all the way so you can adjust how far it is on the mount. I keep it all the way back on the mount so it's as close to the subject as possible. Throw it on, tighten it. The wire for it is way too long, so I'll just wrap it around the red little clips or whatever you want to call them a few times so that you don't have too much excess wire. But at the same time, I do recommend using the given wire because then it'll kick on and off with the actual camera. That's my rig. Pretty simple. It's also nice because I can take it off whenever I'd like, throw it on my Ronin. All I'll have to do is take off the top handle, which looks like it's a lot more than it is, but it's 10:51 and we gotta be down there for something at 11. First day of the Kelsey Plum dog class. On Friday, it was like a weirdly slow event to that point because you're waiting, but you're also shooting because you want to get establishing shots of the different spaces. So that was my focus in the front end of the camp before all the girls were there. I went around the hotel, I got signage, I got any kind of branding that was custom for this specific event, and then also just some like scene setters. So we got palm trees, we got some kind of signage that isn't Kelsey Plum's signage. We got a whole variety. I know last year I did this when I was at a camp at IMG Academy and we were very thankful and we actually ended up using it a ton. So came in handy a lot. The problem was that there was a girls tournament going on at the same time as the girls camp and everything that I'm shooting goes on the same page as that. So think about it as a viewer. I would be very confused if I was watching a story or even looking at a feed and you're telling me scores from an event that's going on while simultaneously showing me a camp that's going on and the stories are in no specific order. So the guys I was working with decided, and I think it was a great idea, that our stuff will live a little bit later and the tournament stuff will live now. But we were putting together these type of stories for every single thing that was happening. Our goal is that at the end of the day, we communicate with the people that are at the girls' tournament and we will post a string of stories that'll all be consecutive and we'll make them look different. The goal for making them look different was for the exact reason that I just mentioned. We don't want everything to blend into one another. So we put the Kelsey Plum logo on it and we made them stylistically just look different than whenever you're in an LED gym. Granted, we weren't in an LED gym for the practices and everything, but that was something that was totally different for me. It was very different. We put together these little like 4 or 5 clip recaps, not even a recap, with some kind of hip hop beat behind it, and that's where it'll live for now, and knowing that the stuff will slowly drip out down the road. We are day 2 right now and headed over for another practice. We just had puppy yoga, which was awesome, and it's definitely the more chaotic day of what we're filming here at the Kelsey Plum camp. We got the Pilates / puppy yoga. Now we're headed over to a practice, and it's gonna be very consistent up until I think about 5 or 6 o'clock, and then we're good because the players are having like a private event that there's not supposed to be any cameras at. For this, I am going to be following one specific player because I'm in charge of a piece that we want to do on a very Under Armour focused player. It should be pretty chill though, very similar to last night's practice, nothing too crazy, just trying to find those little moments that happen within this event and try and set my content apart from everybody else that is here, because there are arguably more cameras than athletes here, so it's a weird thing to navigate. Now, one of my main responsibilities was to make a video about a girl who's been Under Armour through and through. And once she got there, I was pretty much attached to her hip. I was filming her walking into the gym. I was filming her doing the Pilates workout, during warm-up, shoot around when she was on the bench, trying to get as much variety as I possibly could so that we knew we could have all of our bases covered, knowing that I'm gonna get an interview with her at the end. The interview is something that I've talked about in the past on this channel, and this is a different type of thing versus the documentary work that I'm doing. I know that this one is going to live on social media. This one is going to be a 1-minute max video, so I'm not necessarily trying to get her to string out a very long answer. I'm trying to cover 3 or 4 topics inside of a 1-minute video, which, you know, you don't have to be a freaking rocket scientist to realize that that's going to be a little bit tough to do. You need people to speak very concisely. So sometimes she would answer and I'd be like, all right, cut it down a little bit, give me a different version. Say the same thing though, it'll just come out different.
Now tell me about like you specifically on the circuit. What team did you play for? What are some things that you won? Just once again, say your name and say we're out here at Kelsey Plum's dog class.
But the biggest thing aside from that is that we wanted to make sure that she talked about her Under Armour experience. So I need to prompt her with those questions. I'm going into it with questions like, tell me about your Under Armour experience, seeing what she gives me.
Being involved with Under Armour throughout your entire career so far, how has it changed from like whenever you were playing in the high school circuit to now being involved in an event like this?
So filming basketball, there's one thing that I like to do a lot, and it's move around. The games that they were playing were scrimmages. The main scrimmage day, they were in the main court at IMG, and they were playing a 7-game series, and there was halftime, a break. It was like whenever they scored 8 points or something, there would be a halftime of some sort. So I would pick a different place to sit and film for each time that they would stop. So I would be on the baseline underneath the hoop, and then it'd be halftime. Then I'd go up into the stands and I would film from the stands, and then I would go to a different part of the stands. Trying to move around and get different perspectives was really cool. I'll leave you with this. My 2 favorite spots to film that I found are middle of the court where the players check in. Now, you might not be able to do this as much during a game, but I know you can do it with high school games a good amount. Like if you're at a high school tournament, they usually give you pretty free reign depending on who you're with and who your credentials with and who you get to know. I got this clip of Kelsey Plum hitting a 3. She celebrates right to my camera. I was like, okay, mark that one 25 times because I need to remember where that is. And then the other place that I like to be is kind of at like a 45-degree angle of one of the sides. Picture this is the court. I like to be right here. Now this is only gonna be possible for different gyms because I personally like to be up a little bit so you're above the players. But if you're right here, sit about 10-ish rows up, and then you're shooting on an angle here. You can still see the ball go in the bucket, and you can also see the other side of the court. this is where a lens like a 24-105 would be nice instead of my 24-70. Thank you for watching. Like this video, subscribe if you're not already. I hope it helped you. And I'm planning on making a deeper dive video into how I film basketball. I got a cool MLB video coming out. I don't know if it's out yet. I hope it is, but I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.